bunch of challenges we face as black men in America. You know what I mean? From poor education to racial discrimination, you know, injustice, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with people who call white man system, you understand? Like, equality, we not treated equal. We not looked at as people, honestly. Just being identified as black is like being a dog, you know what I mean? Identifying as a color instead of racial or nationality, you know what I'm saying? Atones a level of respect right there. So, you know, mass incarceration. It's a lot of challenges we face as black men. The most prominent challenge is racism at this point, though. You know, police killing us for no reason, doing what they feel is just, or serving whoever's master at this point. You know, work, jobs, availability of jobs, you know what I'm saying, which goes with education. You know, you need a certificate for anything nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Just saying you skilled in something ain't enough. So, you know, it's a bunch of challenges.
I feel like I gotta work twice as hard. And when I say that, I mean, I feel like every day I have to be better than I was yesterday. Like, I'm always trying to do better by myself, and by that, like furthering my education, trying to always prepare for the future, for my kids, for my grandkids, leave something behind so they won't have to work for anybody.
As a black man, lion and king of my pride, our story has always been told by the hunter, not by the hunted. It's challenging living that reality every day.
As a black man, we are the first line of defense for the African American community. And it's scary that there are certain people out there who are specifically targeting us to tear down our communities.
The system is designed for really black men. Through child support, probation, being locked up, wherever it goes, it's always going to be designed for black men. I feel as every day I work to survive instead of working to accomplish. To know that I am one of the statistics out here, like I am very much a target as well as every other black man out here. Not just because of color, but my name, the way I carry myself, dreads, I mean, jewelry, is a lot that goes on when it comes down to survival and being a black man in America. We come with a lot of unawareness.
So the biggest challenge I have being a black man in America, to put it simply, being a black man in America, to be truly honest, you know, it's just, you feel like everything's against you. You know, you got police against you, you got, you know, jobs are against you, you know, you got to fight 3 or 4 times as hard as like of a non-black person in order to even succeed. You know, it's a headache, and I know it's normal life for me, but it's not, it shouldn't be, you know, and it's, to be truly honest, you know, it's a struggle, you know, especially like in professional workplace, you know, it's a struggle, you know, even trying to succeed when the person that gets promoted beside you is nowhere near as qualified as you are. A lot of that happens quite a bit. That's just my, you know, from professional world. Also, in like just being out and about, you know, you got to worry about police nonstop, all the time. Just early today, you know, I felt like I was being followed by a bunch of motorcycle cops. You know, I shouldn't have that fear. You know, they end up just turning off. They didn't pull me over, but I shouldn't have that fear.
Incarceration happened to be one of our greatest default among the white people, among this government. My greatest fear as a black man in America is being incarcerated and falsely accused of a crime that I did not commit. So that's definitely is one of my greatest challenges. Facing a system that does not work for me. Facing my community that is basically against me. Be it black or white, it don't matter. You know, I'm not undermining the black people, but at the same time, my greatest challenges sometimes come from my own people. So I face that daily.
To only rebuild the society we live in for black people, we're gonna have to destroy it as we know it. You know what I'm saying? Forget everything that we know. You know what I mean? And start over. You know what I'm saying? With a just beginning. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, moving accordingly, you know what I'm saying, and peacefully. Because war, you know what I'm saying, is what fuels our country. Because that's the big money. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Well, what are you seeing? What's going on?
That cops are killing black people. I mean, and when they're not letting them go, it's like slavery and racism.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel sad.
Why?
Everybody has to have love and not deserve to be beat up and stuff.
We're gonna be alright, baby.
Okay.
We're gonna be alright.
Okay.
You are strong. Black people are strong. You have a strong family. It's sad to see, but we're going to continue on and keep living.
Okay.
And doing the best we can and contributing to society and being good people.
Okay.
My concern is America's perception creates more fear of my son than all the dictators I learned about in school.
Our children are intricate parts of our lives, and my biggest concern and fear is that someone will see our children and deem them a threat just by the color of their skin, taking them away from us because they're deemed a threat.
Hearing they getting gunned down in the street over a traffic stop, you know what I mean? Falsely accused of crimes you know they didn't commit, and they know they didn't commit. Law enforcement probably know they didn't commit, you know what I mean? Wondering where their place is in the world, honestly. You see what I'm saying? Because as of the social structure right now, black men really don't have no place in this world. You know what I mean? Unless it's in a penitentiary, which is modern day slavery. You know what I'm saying? So, as a parent, you just, I don't know, if you're not thriving on faith at this point, I don't know what you thriving off, because, you know what I'm saying, the charts show, you know what I'm saying, we not bound to see success, you know what I mean, unless we doing the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? Doing the right thing don't get us nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It's overlooked. Only glorified if we throwing a ball or shooting a ball. You know what I'm saying? So
it seems like no matter how you raise them or what qualities you instill in your child, you still have to worry about somebody not even taking the time to take those into consideration before they try to take your life or just do anything to you. Like they don't consider disability. They don't consider if you you love people. They don't consider if you're somebody that could be their friend. They don't take the time to get to know you as a person. And no matter what struggles we go through as parents to make sure that our kid is a better person or a good person, somebody could literally just disregard all of that and then just go with whatever spirit or whatever they got going on within their selves, and then just take you out of there. So, for example, we take our time to teach our kid, oh, don't steal. And then they go into a store and then somebody just assumes because they're black or because, they look a certain type of way that they're going to do that.
Prejudice, obviously. The fact that it's no matter what background that they might have, like my wife said, that might not be taken into concern as far as when being pursued by police or just being followed around in the store. Also, in in their own community, you know, raising our black children around other black children. Whereas, you know, we want to raise our kids up to be the best possibly they can be, while other parents, you know, they might be too busy to be in their children's life, or, you know, not really care. And then, you know, our kids grow up around their kids, and then their kids might see our kids and feel like they might be, you know, uppity, or say they might talk white or act white just because, you know, we're training them up to have manners and be proper. And they might want to cause harm to our kids as well. So
the biggest one is that he will be judged in every situation, whether it's school and education, or it's the workforce, whether it's recreational and him going to the mall with his friends. I have a lot of fears. I try to instill in him now, as a 6-year-old boy, the difference between right and wrong, and, you know, just who to trust, and that there are good and bad people out here, in hopes that when he turns out to be a 26-year-old male or a 36, 46-year-old male, that I have raised him right, and that if he's ever faced with any type of situation, he will know hopefully what to do and who to turn to if he's ever in any type of situation.
My biggest fear is someone prejudging them. You know, I always said whenever I have kids, I was gonna give them, you know, like normal names so they won't be prejudged by college applications, job employers. You know, I have so many fears for my son. Falsely accused, somebody bringing harm to him, my daughters, because it's not just black men getting killed, it's black women as well getting killed. Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland, numerous of other women who didn't make the headlines. You know, my fear is throughout all my children. That's why I try to teach my children have a strong work ethic, education, be able to talk in front of audience, not afraid to speak your mind. I just want them to succeed and prosper.
My greatest fear is not being able to provide for my children, not being able to be a man of my house, to be a leader, to protect my children, to shelter my children, to feed my children. That's a big fear for me. Not knowing what my children's future holds. That's a major factor for me. Not knowing what 10 years from today may bring into his life, my daughter's life. Because at where we at right now, we really don't know if it is a future for us as black men and black women in America. So raising a child in America is one of my great fears, of not being able to be a provider, a protector.
My son, he's a mixed child. So, you know, being a mixed child, you know, he's gonna have issues. I'm gonna teach him, you know, what to expect and how to deal with it. He's gonna think it's not fair, which he's right, it's not fair. Regardless if he has a white mother or not, you know, he's deemed as black. He's deemed as light-skinned black. A lot of people don't realize he's mixed. You know, you wouldn't realize it. You know, some people are so ignorant that that's what happens. And, you know, you do what you gotta do.
Honestly, all I can say is that it's very scary, especially because I have 2 boys and I have a daughter. But what scares me the most is having 2 boys, because it's like they're so innocent right now. They're only 7 and 4 years old, and we've already had to tell them, you know, about George Floyd and what's going on in America. And it's very confusing to them because, you know, like, they're wondering why somebody would hate somebody just because they're different. As when you look at kids, they don't care about differences. They just love each other. They don't see, like, anything, you know, color or anything like that. They just, you know, see a friend. And it's really unfortunate that, adults can't be that way. I fear for it, when they grow up, because, I love them so much. They're so sweet and so loving, but it's scary because, when they grow up, they, people will look at them, as a threat. And I just pray that change comes, like a real change comes, as I really don't want them to have to worry about, what I do if the police stop me. Should I wear this? I just pray that by the time that they become, of age, that there will be real change, because it's really sad. It makes my anxiety go up sometimes thinking about it, so I try not to think about it.
I think the biggest fear is not knowing what, to teach your child, not knowing, even if you teach them everything right.
Yep, they can put their head down, they can keep their hands visible, they can have a gun, they cannot have a gun.
So that's the biggest fear as a parent, or concern. I'm not going to say fear because God is on my side and her side and our side.
Yes, we fear no man, but
knowing, what could be the trigger, what can cause it. So,
yes,
I think that's the biggest concern.
And honestly, while we're in the middle of thinking about the answer for that, these people pulled, that's literally what happened. They pulled up in the middle of us thinking about the answer to this question. And that is the fear. That's the fear that one day you're going to pull up and you're going to take out one of my children because you didn't understand the situation.
Black people, brown people, y'all are my passion. Never, ever, ever hang your head despite the fact that you are living and breathing and operating in a country that is not built for you, is not out here to protect you, has never had your best interest at heart or in mind. That being said, I want y'all to know that I see you, I love you, and I will always be out here protecting you.
Black men, you are loved. Black men, you are strong. Black men, you are talented. Black men, you are creative. Black men, you are funny. Black men, you are needed. Black men, you are wanted. And I appreciate all that you do and sacrifices that you've made for yourself and your families. Continue to stay strong. Continue to beat the odds. And continue to just be black and be proud and be great.
Stay humble, always remain humble. Never lose focus. I know the odds is always against us, but let's not fold under pressure. We've been rising above it. So I would say let's continue to do so, and let's help each other out.
Self-love is a great love. Self-gratitude is a great thing. And self-motivation is the best thing. So to any black man that's seeing me or hearing me, just know this. I came from the same place you came from, been through the same things you've been through. I served my time. I paid my debts to this country in my incarceration, as they would say. I aided and abetted in a lot of things, but the most important thing that changed my life is my children, my son. Guard them and protect them with your life, and honor the woman that you live with. Of every race of people on this planet, they respect their woman, they honor their woman, they guard their children, they take care of their children, and they don't let no man, nobody dictate which way their family goes. So for me to tell a black man, son, take care of your house first and you can take care of somebody else home.
To all the fellas, my loved ones, my brothers, my day ones, my future son, protect yourself at all times. No matter the situation, always protect yourself.
I would like to tell my husband, my son, my nephews that they are priceless to me. They're important to this world. And the goal is for them to come home to us every single day.
I want to say to my brothers, young and old, it's time we take our place. You see, God created us a little bit lower than the angels to have dominion over all things. And the problem is, we have fallen short of our duty for a long time. That's just reality. Big shout out to the women, because the women have held us down, and I don't know where we would be as men without them. With that being said, men, we are royalty. We are heirs to the kingdom. We were created to overcome, to adapt, to be resourceful. So we gotta stop making excuses for what we don't have. Yes, we are victims of systemic racism. Yes, we have been unjustly racially profiled. Yes, we have been dealt a crappy hand. But many of us have risen above that. And all of us are capable of rising above it, if we so choose to. We gotta stop blaming people for what we don't have and start being accountable and looking at ourselves in the mirror. We've become lazy, looking for a handout, complaining about what we don't have. When God birthed us and created us with the ability to rise above any situation and circumstance. See, with the same energy that we use to hit the club and be on the block, selling drugs, we need to put into getting an education in school, learning a trade, taking care of our families, raising our children, and treating our women better. Because for far too long, we have done a piss poor job of it. We need to get it together. It's time we take our place and be the men that God created us to be. See, we were born to be resilient. They overcame slavery in Egypt. They overcame slavery in Africa with apartheid. We overcame slavery here in the United States. So we're capable of overcoming anything that we face in our lives, any obstacle, if we put our minds to it. We think guns and violence is the answer. But let's be honest. You know what scares white people the most? A hard-working, intelligent black man. Because that is capable of creating wealth and abundance and overcoming any circumstance. And it's about time that we started doing that. So we gotta get it together. Be encouraged. All hope is not lost. We were built to overcome, and we will overcome. But it's time we take a look in the mirror at ourselves and take off those rose-colored glasses and start making the necessary changes we do to better ourselves, to better our children's future. And it's time we reach back to those young boys on the block and pull them out of adversity and help them to make better decisions with their lives. We hold the future of ourselves in our hands, and it's time we act on it. So I'm pleading with you to do better, to be the change you seek. Because ain't nobody gonna give it to us. We gotta go get it. And we were created with everything we need to do it.
To my son, my brother, my husband, put God first. Put God first and bear arms. Don't be afraid to shoot, because they not afraid to shoot you. And pray.
My black brothers is stay focused, you know what I'm saying? Stay true to yourself, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you're always doing at every point in time what makes you happy and only what makes you happy. You know what I mean? Because those are the only things that matter at this point, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know what I'm saying? Just focus, stay focused. Education, because information is the key. You know what I'm saying? That's what they withholding. That's the only thing separating me from, you know what I'm saying, Steve Jobs or Bill Gates. It's just the lack of information that they got over me. You know what I'm saying? No matter how they obtained it. So, you know, just try to obtain an education. You know what I'm saying? And keep your head up and fly straight for what it's worth.
I love you. If no one else loves you, if you feel like society doesn't love you, I love you. I trust you. I respect you. And most importantly, don't ever forget your worth. Like, you are important. You are a strong black man. And although society may fear you, live up to your potential. Don't ever let anyone downgrade you or, make you feel any less than you are. God put you on this earth for a reason, fulfill your purpose, and go on and be great things. I love you, King.
My father, to my older brother, to the man that I love, is that you are valued. Not only are you valued, you're needed. We need you. We need you. We see you. We love you. We cherish you. We adore you. We support you. We stand with you. We love you. I love you so, so, so much. And I am going to do all that I can, whether it be protesting, signing petitions, voting, whatever it takes in my power to make this world a better place in order to assist in protecting you, since our country and our penal system and our police do not see your value. I do. I see you and I love you.
It doesn't make sense for the police to not let people go because they all deserve to live. It's black love and it doesn't make sense. Just everybody deserves to live.
Give me this minute to share my heart. A heart that aches, a heart that is broken at what we find ourselves in again. And it's so hard not to ask God, Lord, really? Are we here again? Haven't we gone through enough as a people? And he still sees, he still knows that it's a struggle. But his heart aches, just as our heart aches. And so my brothers who are stunning examples of perseverance and resilience, 5 brothers, my dad's words to them was leave home together, come back together, look after one another together, and make sure that everybody is safe. And so we had to stick together. We walked to school, we came home from school, and I remember my brother Wes lifting me, a little chubby toddler, middle schooler, onto a car so that a pit bull would not devour me. The dogs came from everywhere, chasing us out of the white neighborhoods that we had to walk to go to school. We did not have a bus at that time. My parents tried to pick us up, my mom, on Fridays when we took our band instruments home, but it was a struggle that we got through by the grace of God. So they've done well. I encourage them to encourage their children to tell the story. Others need to know that what we've done once, we can do it again. And what would I say to my son? I would say to my daughter as well that you're wise, you're brilliant, you're resilient, you're intelligent. And that is what the enemy fears the most. That's what the enemy is after, your character, your God-ordained character, your giftings that were placed in you from birth, the purpose that God placed in you. Hold fast to that. Go forward in it. Stand firm. But don't go low. Let's borrow from Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high. What is high? High is that I do better. High is I treat them better than they treated me. What is high? High is that I do what I know is right from my own legacy, from what has been left to me, that I matter, more than anybody else would ever know. And so hold to the faith, continue to do the things that God's called you to do, and just know that you're not alone. We're banding together to do more. Together we can succeed and accomplish great things.
To everyone that participated in this, thank you. To my cousin Shannon for putting this together, all love and respect to you, because we needed it. And I thank you. You are a light and a force to be reckoned with. And I know Grandma's proud of you, because I'm proud of you, and I love you. And I just want to pray for the men. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we come to you as humble as we know how, giving all honor and praise to you, Lord. Father, forgive us for the things that we've said and done and thought that's not pleasing to you. Lord, creating us a clean heart, renew a right spirit. Lord, we thank you for this day, one we've never seen before and one we'll never see again. Father, I ask that you touch every man from the crown of his head to the soles of his feet, Lord. Father, I ask that you do a new thing in us, that you birth and create a new force in us, Father. A force to be reckoned with, Lord. Father, I ask that you build us up where we're torn down and strengthen us where we're weak, Lord. Father, I ask that you touch our hearts, that you speak to our minds, that you help us to rise above every situation and circumstance that we have been dealt with in life. Father, you created us to handle adversity and to overcome our circumstances. Now I ask that you help us to walk in it. Walk in the calling that you have given each of us, Lord, whatever that may be. That you unleash the gifts in us, Father, that you created us in the beginning of time. Lord, help us to be better today than we were yesterday. Help us to educate ourselves. Help us to get out of our own ways. Help us to seek you, Lord. Because you said if we put you first, then all things would be given unto us. Father, I ask that you change our mindsets, that you help us to rise in our work ethic, that you help us to advance in our education, that you help us to love our women, that you help us to be better fathers to our children. Help us to be leaders in the community, in our homes, in our nations, Father. Lord, I ask that you move in our lives, that you remove anyone that seeks to destroy us, any circumstance that seeks to hinder us, Lord, and that you unleash the full capability that we have in us to be the best men that we can be, Lord. Help us to fix our broken families. Help us to get off the streets, to get out of jail, put that fast life behind us, to honor those that came before us, that sacrificed their lives to pave a way for us to be better. Strengthen us and keep us on today, Lord. Ask that you move by your anointing, Father, that I plead your blessings over us, that you will touch us and move in our lives, Lord, that you will continue to keep us and strengthen us as only you can. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you. I love you. And let's be the change that we seek.